when you are on the twin flame journey, or you have another kind of SP, doesn't have to be a twin flame, and there is something going on like ghosting, they won't give you commitment, they don't show you amazing you are, then of course you probably figured out by now that they are in fact mirroring you. In this video, we're going to talk about the 4 main things your person, your specific person, twin flame, divine counterpart, or karmic, or any other person is mirroring back to you, so that you understand what it actually is and what you can do to overcome those things in order to attract a happy outcome with your specific person. You may have heard me talk about that in other videos, but I decided to summarize it again in this video because it is very, very important. So what does your person, your twin flame, your karmic mirror back to you? Well, number 1 is the mirror to you your fear of abandonment, if you have any of these. I do have another video that is called Attachment Style, and it is about one person, usually you could call them the twin flame chaser, has the anxious attachment style and is therefore attracting another person who has the avoidant attachment style and who is not able to give that kind of commitment. Mirroring does not mean necessarily that one person is exactly like the other. I often use as an example, just because one person would be a cheater and that is a mirror, doesn't mean that the other person who's cheated on is cheating as well. Most likely the person who is cheated on has had some kind of experience in the past of betrayal, or maybe they have been cheated on before, and therefore they have this belief people, men or women, are cheaters, or I am the person who gets betrayed in some kind of way. Maybe they have seen it in their parents or other people close around them when growing up, that there was some kind of betrayal going on. It doesn't even have to be that they were the ones who were betrayed. Maybe they have been witness of a very close person being betrayed. And when we are children, we often get programmed in the first 7 years of our lives, and we take on whatever we learn. When we talk about mirroring, as I just said, it doesn't mean that you are a cheater and that's why you attracted another cheater. No, you have the belief of there are cheaters out there, or I am getting betrayed, or I have been cheated on before and I'm not taken serious. And that is why you attracted somebody who is mirroring that belief back to you. And that is why when one person has the anxious attachment style, they most likely won't attract somebody who also has the anxious attachment style. Anxious attachment style would be somebody who is maybe trying to control the other person, who has severe fear of loss and abandonment, always wants to be with the other person. They most likely would attract somebody in the avoidant attachment style, somebody who is unable to give that kind of commitment, as I said earlier. Which does not mean that they don't want to have that commitment. Basically, we are human, we are herd animals, and we all long for this kind of commitment. However, if we have been traumatized or something happened in early childhood, then some people are scared of letting other people close. Maybe they're not used to it because their parents were not very loving, and now they're confronted with somebody who is maybe very emotional and they don't know this, so this can be overburdening. So the same wound can often manifest in 2 different ways. One person hasn't felt loved in childhood, for example, and they long for that, and that is why they hold on too tight. And the other person is very afraid of that closeness that they haven't felt, and that is why they try to avoid it. And they're not doing that in order to punish you. That is something I often see in twin flame groups or comments on other channels, thank God not so much mine, that some people say it's the other person's fault, they're toxic for not giving me what I want, they're toxic because they're ghosting me. No, it's usually the avoidant person was too much. One person stepped away a little, and the other person did not respect that and tried to close that gap right away, or bombarded the other person with messages, or wanted to talk when the other person was not in the right headspace. And that, of course, would result in one person shutting down and just stepping a bit further away. So it is important that we ask ourselves not why is the other person acting that way, probably because it's some kind of trauma, so you shouldn't judge them. It's more important, why did I attract this situation? Why did I attract somebody who is not available to me? This means it would be your responsibility to see what kind of abandonment wound or fear of abandonment, fear of being alone do I have, and it is your job to clear that, because as long as you have that fear within you, you cannot possibly attract commitment, and that is not the other person's fault. It is your soul, your higher self, you could say telepathically telling the other person you cannot come because I'm still in this fear. And divine counterparts, you already hear it, divine counterparts. Divine implies not being stuck in ego, not being stuck in fears. It is a journey of freeing yourself from those fears in order to attract union. Your person is not your savior. They cannot come to save you. They cannot come to not make you feel that wound you have. They come to show you there is a wound, and it's your responsibility to grow, to heal, to take care of that wound. They cannot do that for you. Their only job is to show you it is there by acting in a way that will trigger that wound so you can take care of it. So this is number one. They show you fear of loss and abandonment, and then you will attract somebody, if you have those wounds, who is not able to give you commitment, who may be ghosting you. I do have a video about twin flame ghosting as well. You can check that out. It's about how to overcome that phase of ghosting. What can you do when you're ghosted? Number two is your person is mirroring back to you your self-love. If you always put yourself last, and many spiritual people do that. I mean, I'm a spiritual person myself. I do have the helper syndrome. I do have to watch that as well. I know what I'm talking about. But if we always put ourselves last, we've shown the universe, look universe, I don't deserve that my needs are taken serious. I don't deserve that I'm respected because I don't respect my own needs. I don't take myself serious. I don't take care of my own needs. How do you want to attract somebody who is mirroring you, how amazing you are, and that you are actually worthy of being shown how good you are, and that you're worthy of being treated well, when you don't even treat yourself well? Always say it's not about being selfish. Selfish is the other end of the spectrum. We are still connected to other people, and we treat others as we want to be treated. So of course we still help if there is some kind of emergency, or if we have enough energy to spare. But if you're not feeling well, it is your responsibility to take care of yourself first. Unless, of course, you are a mother who has a small child. But even then, it would be your responsibility. Is there someone who can take care of my child for like 2 hours so that I can have some time for myself? Do I have a support system? If not, pay a babysitter. Find some kind of support system. Which means once you have learned to love yourself, and you can do that by affirmations. I do have videos, guided videos on my channel that are supposed to help you build up your self-love. It is important to first use some kind of a method like meditations, affirmations to build up your self-love. It is important to watch your thoughts. How are you treating yourself? What are you thinking about yourself? Are you constantly criticizing yourself? Then you're of course going to attract people who criticize you. So it is your job to learn to love yourself, even learn your imperfections. Nobody is perfect. Nobody has to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect in order to be worthy of love. So we learn to control our thoughts. I do have a video on how to do affirmations that will help you to find your own custom-made affirmations so that you can tackle that. And the other thing I just said it is, how do you treat yourself? Are you able to set boundaries? And setting boundaries also would imply if your body tells you, I need a break, are you taking a break? Setting boundaries also means saying no to your family members, your friends, if you want to say no. It doesn't mean saying no to everything, but those situations, you know exactly what I'm talking about, I'm sure, where you feel like, I want to say no, and you say yes instead. Those situations we're talking about. It is your job to take care of yourself, to prove to the universe, I am worthy of being treated well. And then and only then your twin flame or your specific person can start mirroring back to you that you are amazing and that you can start treating you well then. But no mirror can show you anything that you don't put in front of it. If you eat unhealthy, you have acne, no mirror can show you perfect skin. So if you're not in self-love, it is not their fault that they don't show you how amazing you are, that they choose you. They can only choose you once you have learned to choose yourself, to treat yourself well. The third point your twin flame or your specific person is mirroring back to you is your assumptions, the love assumptions. It's your assumptions, your beliefs about your preferred gender, so men or women, relationships, and love in general. Do you have assumptions like, men are cheaters, men don't want to commit, the good ones are already taken, women are liars, women only want guys from money? If you have these kind of assumptions, probably because you have experienced something like that or you have witnessed something like that, then those assumptions will get mirrored back to you. Which means if you have assumptions like men are cheaters, as I said earlier, then you're of course going to attract a cheater. Or even if you attract somebody who would not be a cheater, your inner assumption would most likely make you act in some kind of way that is pushing the other person away, by being too controlling, by asking too many questions, by criticizing them, by snooping, some kind of behavior that you would not have if you really trusted the other person. So check out your assumptions about other people, relationships, like a good person is hard to find. You always need to work on relationships. Most relationships don't last anyway. Or love hurts. I'm scared of falling in love because it's going to end up in pain and everybody I like is going to leave me. Yes, all of that is going to be mirrored back to you. You will most likely not attract somebody who is the opposite of that. Most likely they are in the beginning, but then they shift and your old beliefs will get mirrored back to you again. So it is important that you find out what your beliefs are. And I already mentioned it. I do have the video about how to create your own affirmations in my How to Manifest playlist that can help you to first of all find your beliefs and then start changing them, because your subconscious mind ultimately will believe you everything if you just repeated it enough. So you can work with the law of assumption, and create new beliefs like I am worthy of being loved, or everybody around me is always faithful and loyal to me. Your ego may not believe it in the beginning, and that is okay, but if you repeat it often enough, eventually that will be a new belief, and then that can get mirrored back to you. The fourth thing your twin flame or your specific person is going to mirror back to you is your assumptions about them specifically. As long as you see them as the person who is unable to commit, they will mirror that belief back to you. So you do not only change your own self-concept, your own self-love and self-worth, and your fear of abandonment into a healthy version, you also change your concept about the other person. You can visualize them giving you that commitment you like. You can visualize contacting them, or you can work with scripting. I do have a video on that. You can use affirmations, visualization, daydreaming. Check out the entire How to Manifest playlist. I have really different methods, and the method all work the same. It's just pure preference. Some people are better at manifest and visualizing. Other people are amazing writers, and for them scripting might be the best technique. So it's not the technique. None is better than the other. It's just pure preference. But you can use these techniques in order to change your view about the other person, and then that can get mirrored back to you. Because as I said earlier, category 3, reason number 3, you have the belief love hurts, and let's say men, they are unable to give commitment, then you will attract somebody who is like that. Not in the beginning. Usually the beginning is very pleasant until it shifts, and then this person starts to change in a way that has to mirror your beliefs, and then you create new beliefs about that person. Oh, they're the same. They are also always withdrawing. And then of course, these assumptions you have, they will harden more and more and more into fact. It's like a downward spiral, because you have an assumption, the universe reads that, proves that to you, then you believe that even more, which means the universe will show you that even more, and you believe it even more, and then the universe will harden this more into fact. One thing I still want to point out, group number 3, one belief can be about the twin flame journey, and that is one of the reasons why I created my channel, and specifically also my video about different types of divine counterparts, because there's so much bullshit beliefs about twin flames out there, and so many teachers. Everybody can call himself a teacher and they don't have any real experience. There's so many people who are just saying, yeah, twin flames are not meant to be together. Well, if you have that assumption, then guess what? You won't get twin flame union. If you have the belief the twin flame journey is like super hard and painful, well, the universe is going to prove you right, and it's going to be super hard and painful for you. So it's important to see what kind of assumptions do you have, and to overwrite these programs so that the universe can finally start mirroring something else back to you. So this is very important. Once you have done the work, the mirror, your person, your twin flame, they can start changing. They won't change unless you have changed. So if you're waiting for them to come and save you, you're going to wait for a while. I have clients that have been on this journey for decades. I have one client, she's been on this journey for 40 years, not 14, 40 years, 4 decades. And then she started working with me and she started recreating her person. And now after 4 decades, for the first time, he tells her, yeah, I love you, and it's always been you. You can't wait for forever if you expect them to come back. You have to do the work, because you're the magnet. You attract them to come back once you are in your right power. You know, you are, many twin flames call themselves divine masculine, divine feminine. You cannot be a distorted feminine and attract the divine masculine to come. Not possible. You have to become the divine feminine first in order to attract the divine masculine. Your person won't turn into the divine masculine before you have turned into the divine feminine. And if you still need them to be happy, you're not going to attract them, because neediness cannot attract union. It's impossible. You have to step into your power and create a life that you love. Create joy. And then the universe will multiply that joy by sending them in. Already I was talking about number 4. Yes, you can manifest your person coming back, but if you skip the first 3 steps, then you can manifest contact if you work with affirmations. Yeah, we're in contact, yes, but then they will ghost you again if you haven't changed your self-concept. So this is more important, to work on yourself and start there. Don't start with wanting to manifest contact when you haven't changed your self-concept, because then, yeah, you will get contact and then it will break off again, and then you will be even more disappointed and maybe even more hurt. And then you're recreating those cycles again and again and again, and it's completely unnecessary. Just do your work, do it right, and then manifest union, and you can have it. If you need help with that, you can watch my other videos, or you can reach out. I am available for personal coaching, and right now I am working on some self-study courses with workbooks and everything. There will be a free version of that I'm going to release, or start releasing, I think 1 or 2 videos on YouTube soon. It will be a free course, but there will be a paid version with additional information and workbooks and all of that. So you can keep your eyes open, and I'm pretty sure we can get you to your twin flame union. Also, you can find me on Facebook. Link is below. My contact information is below. Join my Facebook group. I just really started it. And I see you there, and I wish you all the best now. Okay, bye-bye.